beyond representation, the revolution of Black excellence in white spaces. Thank you all for being here today. I'm truly honored to stand before you to share some transformative insights I gained from my recent interview with Trinene Davis for the Pink Parachute Diaries podcast. Trinene isn't just a voice in the movement to empower Black professionals. She is a revolutionary force reshaping how we think about Black excellence in predominantly white spaces. Her work has literally saved careers, transformed organizations, and perhaps most importantly, preserved the mental health and well being of countless Black professionals who were on the verge of giving up. What makes Trinene's approach so radical is her unwavering commitment to addressing not just surface level representation, but the deeper, often invisible systemic barriers that suffocate Black talent. She doesn't just want Black professionals in the room, she demands they transform the room itself. Today, I want to take you on a journey that will fundamentally challenge everything you thought you knew about diversity and inclusion in professional spaces. This isn't just another talk about representation, it's about revolution. Let me start with something that shocked me during my conversation with Trinene. Despite making up a significant portion of the population, Black individuals represent only 12.8% in professional settings. That's concerning, but what's even more alarming is that recent studies show 60% of Black professionals still experience racism in the workplace. 6 out of 10. Let that sink in for a moment. 60%. We've been celebrating diversity milestones for decades now, haven't we? We applaud when organizations hit certain diversity targets. We share those infographics showing incremental increases in Black hiring. Companies proudly announce their diversity initiatives in glossy reports and slick social media campaigns. And yes, representation matters. It absolutely does. But what happens after those professionals walk through the door? What happens when they sit at the table? What happens in those moments when they're the only Black person in the room and someone makes a joke that isn't funny? What happens when they're constantly mistaken for the other Black employee who looks nothing like them? What happens when they're told their natural hair is unprofessional? This is where our conversation about diversity and inclusion often falls devastatingly short. We focus heavily on getting people through the door without addressing the hostile environment waiting for them inside. We need to shift our focus from simply getting more Black professionals into various industries to creating environments where they can authentically lead and innovate without the burden of code switching or facing microaggressions that drain their creative energy. This is the conversation Trinene is boldly leading. And it's one we all need to join, not as passive listeners, but as active participants in dismantling these barriers. During our interview, three key insights emerged that I believe can transform how we think about empowering Black professionals in today's workplace. First, the professional landscape is rapidly changing, as noted in recent discussions within the events industry. The world is shifting, and so is our industry. This creates both challenges and opportunities for Black professionals who must navigate these changes while still dealing with persistent barriers. The pandemic accelerated digital transformation. Remote work became normalized, and entire industries had to reinvent themselves. For Black professionals, this shifting landscape means adapting to new technologies and work models while simultaneously navigating spaces that weren't designed with them in mind. The second insight is the critical importance of personal branding as a strategic tool for survival and success. Organizations like Black Professionals in International Affairs are hosting events specifically focused on command the room, personal branding for leaders. This suggests that developing a strong personal brand is increasingly recognized as a vital strategy for Black professionals to overcome biases and create opportunities. Personal branding isn't just about self promotion, it's about strategic visibility in environments where Black excellence is often overlooked or undervalued. It's about controlling your narrative in spaces where others are all too ready to write it for you. The third insight is the power of collective action and advocacy. The recent inaugural report, State of Black Americans in U.S. Foreign Affairs, by Black professionals in international affairs, demonstrates how organized efforts can highlight challenges and create pathways for change. Black professionals are increasingly creating their own networks and platforms to address industry specific challenges. These aren't just support groups, they're strategic collectives driving systemic change from the inside out. Let me share some specific examples that illustrate these insights in action. The Black Professionals in International Affairs, or BPIA, recently released their inaugural report on the state of Black Americans in U.S. foreign affairs. This is significant because Black professionals in international affairs and foreign policy have historically been underrepresented and face substantial barriers to advancement in diplomatic and international relations careers. Rather than simply lamenting this reality, BPIA created a comprehensive report documenting the current state of Black Americans in foreign affairs, providing data driven insights into representation gaps and barriers. The release of their inaugural report in May 2025 has brought attention to these issues and created a foundation for advocacy and policy recommendations. What's particularly powerful about this example is that BPIA has been working consistently to increase diversity in international affairs, providing networking opportunities, mentorship, and professional development for Black professionals interested in global careers. Their report is likely to influence policy discussions about diversity in diplomatic corps and international organizations, potentially leading to more inclusive recruitment and promotion practices. This shows us that data driven advocacy can create pathways for systemic change. It's not enough to know there's a problem. We need to document it, analyze it, and propose specific solutions. As Trinene often says, vague feelings don't drive change, specific data does. Another powerful example comes from the events industry, where the Black in Events Network is addressing career challenges in a shifting industry landscape. Black professionals in the events industry face unique obstacles as the industry undergoes significant transformation post pandemic, with potential biases in client selection, vendor relationships, and career advancement. The Black in Events Network created a platform for open discussion about career challenges specific to Black event professionals. The network is fostering community dialogue about industry specific challenges, as evidenced by their recent social media engagement asking, "What's your biggest career challenge right now?" The events industry has historically lacked diversity in leadership positions, with Black professionals often facing barriers to advancement despite their talents and contributions. By building an engaged community of Black events professionals who can share experiences and strategies for success, the network is creating visibility and potentially influencing industry practices around hiring, promotion, and client relationships. This example illustrates how industry specific networks can address unique challenges faced by Black professionals in particular fields. The solutions aren't one size fits all, they need to be tailored to the specific dynamics of each industry. A third example that Trinene shared focuses on workplace anti racism initiatives during Black History Month 2025. With 60% of Black professionals still experiencing racism in the workplace, Organizations face the challenge of creating truly inclusive environments beyond superficial diversity initiatives. Companies are being encouraged to issue inclusion statements and implement concrete actions to address racial bias and discrimination. Businesses that actively champion diversity and tackle discrimination can decrease the number of Black professionals experiencing racial injustices. Despite years of diversity and inclusion initiatives, racism persists in many workplaces, requiring more deliberate and sustained efforts to create equitable environments. Some organizations have successfully implemented anti racism training, mentorship programs, and accountability measures to improve workplace culture. These initiatives can lead to improved retention and advancement of Black professionals while creating more innovative and productive work environments for everyone. This example shows that addressing racism in the workplace requires ongoing, intentional effort, not just during Black History Month, but as part of an organization's core values and practices. As Maya Angelou wisely said, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. We know better now. We know that representation alone isn't enough. We know that 60% of Black professionals experience racism in the workplace. We know that industry specific barriers require industry specific solutions. So now we must do better. The work that Trinene Davis and others are doing reminds us of an important truth. The goal isn't just to have Black professionals present in various industries, it's to create environments where they can thrive, lead authentically, and transform those industries from within. This brings me to a powerful affirmation that Trinene shared during our interview. I'm not just in this space, I am transforming this space. This isn't just a statement of presence, it's a declaration of purpose and power. For organizations, this means moving beyond diversity targets to creating truly inclusive cultures. It means examining policies, practices, and power structures that may unintentionally perpetuate inequity. It means listening to Black professionals about their experiences and implementing meaningful changes based on their feedback. For allies, it means using your privilege and position to advocate for change. It means amplifying Black voices rather than speaking for them. It means being willing to have uncomfortable conversations and challenge biased behaviors when you see them. For Black professionals, it means recognizing your power to transform spaces, not just occupy them. It means building networks and communities that provide support and strategic advantage. It means bringing your authentic self to your work, knowing that your unique perspective is not just valuable, it's essential. I want to leave you with this challenge today. What if we stopped celebrating mere representation and started demanding transformation? What if we recognize that diversity without equity is just decoration? What if we understood that inclusion without power sharing is just tokenism? The data shows that 60% of Black professionals still experience racism in the workplace. This is not just a statistic. These are human beings whose talents are being wasted, whose spirits are being crushed, whose contributions are being diminished. We cannot wait for change to happen gradually. We cannot be satisfied with incremental progress. We need revolution, not evolution. So I ask you today, what specific action will you take, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, to transform the spaces you occupy? How will you use your position, your privilege, your power to create environments where Black excellence isn't just acknowledged, but celebrated and elevated? The revolution of Black excellence in white spaces isn't just about making room at the table, it's about rebuilding the table entirely. It's about creating spaces where everyone can bring their full, authentic selves and have their contributions valued equally. This is not just a moral imperative, it's a business imperative, it's an innovation imperative, it's a human imperative. The time for talk is over, the time for action is now. Join the revolution. Thank you